The throne room of Varen stands empty tonight. Darien Thorne sits alone in the center of emptiness, his father's ornate chair too cold beneath him, the marble floors stretching away like frozen lakes. Torchlight flickers against stone pillars carved with wolves mid-hunt, their mouths open in silent howls. 8 years since his father died. 8 years since Darien inherited a crown built on fear and a kingdom that learned to bow before it learned to breathe. He stares at the letter in his hands. The parchment is soft from being folded and unfolded too many times. Anonymous. Delivered 3 nights ago by a courier who vanished before guards could question him. The words burn worse each time he reads them. Omegas starved for missed payments that were never missed. Debts invented from air and signed into law. Wolves who ask questions found dead beyond the borders, written off as rogue casualties. Darien's jaw tightens. His wolf paces inside him, restless and angry. He rebuilt this kingdom after his father's brutality. He opened the dungeons, rewrote cruel laws, replaced corrupt enforcers. He thought he made it better, but no one shows their real face to a king. The great doors open. Beta Cassian Rook strides in, his boots clicking against marble, his coat perfectly pressed, his smile sharp enough to cut. Everything about Cassian is polished. Everything about him feels like a blade hidden in silk. Your Majesty. Cassian bows, just deep enough to be proper. You sent for me? Darien sets the letter aside, face carefully neutral. I received another complaint. About Omega treatment in the capital district. Cassian's expression doesn't shift. That smoothness itself feels wrong. Malcontents. My king. There are always a few who hate paying their fair share. We provide appropriate care to every wolf in the pack. Appropriate care. The words sit heavy in Darien's chest. Omegas deserve dignity. Futures. Not scraps labeled as kindness. Walk me through the debt system, Darien says quietly. How do we determine what each family owes? Standard practice, sire. Taxes based on household size, profession, pack contributions, all documented in the ledgers. Cassian spreads his hands. I can bring the records if you wish to review them personally. The offer comes too quickly, too confident, like a man who knows his lies are buried deep enough that no king will dig. Darien nods slowly. That won't be necessary. Cassian bows again and leaves. The doors close behind him with a sound like a cell locking. Darien sits in the silence and thinks about truth. How it hides. How it only shows itself to those beneath notice. Far below the palace, where cobblestones glisten with snowmelt and kitchen smoke, Kaya Rowan kneels beside a stone trough. Her hands are submerged in water cold enough to burn. She scrubs a noble's tunic, fingers raw and cracked, watching red fade from white fabric. Her breath mists in the early morning air. Inside the castle kitchens, she can hear laughter. Warm light spills through the high windows. She knows they're preparing breakfast, knows there will be bread left over, whole trays of it thrown to the pigs because it sat out too long. Out here, Kaya counts crumbs. Her knees ache against the wet stone. Her stomach is a hollow thing that stopped growling 2 days ago. She finishes the tunic, wrings it until her arms shake, and adds it to the basket. 16 more to go before her shift ends. A bell tolls somewhere in the city. Morning workers call. Kaya's chest tightens. She needs to finish here, run to the stables for second shift, then make it to the market district by noon for her third job hauling crates. 3 jobs. Never enough coin. The debt her family supposedly owes grows faster than she can pay it. She thinks about her sister waiting at home. Lyra, 12 years old, too thin, too pale, trying so hard to be brave. Kaya promised there would be food tonight. She's not sure that promise is true. The memory comes unwanted. Her parents, kind and strong, dying at the border in a rogue attack 2 years ago. 3 days after their funeral, Cassian Rook appeared at their door with a ledger. Funeral costs, he said. Protection fees for the territory. Housing taxes they'd supposedly missed. Numbers that made no sense. A debt that appeared like a curse. Kaya couldn't read well enough to argue. Couldn't afford a scribe to check the math. So she signed. And the debt has only grown since. She dunks another tunic into the water. The cold bites deeper. That night, in separate darknesses, 2 wolves think the same thought in different ways. If I do nothing, the suffering will continue. Darien stands on his private balcony, watching the capital lights flicker below. Somewhere down there, wolves are cold, hungry, afraid of enforcers who should protect them. He can send investigators, demand audits, make official inquiries, but investigations are announced. Word spreads. Evidence disappears. Everyone puts on their best behavior when the king is watching. He remembers something his mother told him before she died. Truth only shows itself when you're invisible. His decision forms slowly, like frost crystallizing on glass. He will vanish. Strip away the crown, the authority, the alpha aura that makes wolves drop their eyes. He will walk among his people as nothing, as no one, and he will see what they see. Darian moves through his chambers, shedding royal leathers, wrapping himself in the oldest, roughest clothes he can find. He smears ash across his face, dirt through his hair. In the mirror, he looks hollow, hungry, forgettable. He binds his alpha presence tight, suppressing it until even he can barely feel it. His wolf snarls in protest but obeys. The castle has a dozen hidden passages. His father used them for cruelty. Darian uses one now for truth. He slips through darkness and emerges in a side alley as the midnight bells ring. Cold hits him immediately. Real cold, without the warmth of pack bonds or heated stone floors. He pulls his thin coat tighter and steps into the city. A pair of guards passes. One sees him, curls his lip, and kicks out casually. The boot catches Darian's hip, sends him stumbling. Move along, filth. They laugh and keep walking. Darian tastes blood from biting his tongue, tastes fury. He forces it down and keeps moving. For hours he wanders, watches Omegas lined up in the cold outside tax stations, sees a mother begging a guard for one more day, her child crying behind her. The guard's response is a sneer and a threat about servitude contracts. Darian memorizes faces, burns them into memory. By the time false dawn grays the sky, he's shaking. Hunger and cold are sharper than any blade. He pushed too far, too fast, and his body is failing. He stumbles toward the refuse pits behind the castle, thinking dimly that he needs to rest, just for a moment. He collapses beside a pile of kitchen scraps. The smell is rotten. The ground is wet. His vision blurs at the edges. Footsteps. Darian tries to lift his head, sees a shape approach, small and thin, moving with the exhausted care of someone who has nothing left to give. Kaya finished her shift 10 minutes ago. Her body is screaming for rest. In her pocket, wrapped in cloth, is one small loaf of bread. It was supposed to last her and Lyra 2 days. If she's careful, if she splits it right. She sees the beggar crumpled near the waste heap, and her first instinct is to keep walking. She can't afford anyone else's suffering. She has her own. But something makes her stop. A sound, a shallow, pained breath that reminds her of Lyra when her sister's fever spiked last winter. Kaya's wolf, weak and half-dormant as it is, pushes gently at her chest. Help him. I can't, Kaya whispers to herself, but her feet are already moving. She kneels beside the stranger. His face is hidden under grime and shadow, but his hands are scraped, shaking with cold. Something about him feels wrong. Not dangerous, just different, like a wolf wearing a rabbit's skin. Kaya pulls the bread from her pocket, stares at it. This is Lyra's food. This is survival. Her fingers tremble as she tears the loaf in half. She keeps the smaller piece and pushes the larger one toward the stranger's chest. Here. Her voice cracks. Eat. Darian's eyes open. Through the haze of cold and exhaustion, he sees her. A girl with hollowed cheeks, dark circles under gray eyes, hair escaping a braid, clothes patched and repatched. She looks like she's drowning, like she's been drowning for years. And she just broke her only bread to feed him. I already ate, Kaya lies, the words tasting like ash. This was extra. She lifts the bread to his lips because his hands are shaking too badly to hold it. Their eyes meet. For a moment too long, something sparks in the air between them, strange and humming, like the moment before lightning strikes. Darian takes a bite. The bread is stale, rough, the best thing he's ever tasted. He swallows and manages a hoarse whisper. Thank you. Kaya nods once, pulls back, and stands. She doesn't look at him again as she walks away, hugging herself against the cold heart aching for reasons she doesn't understand. Darian watches her disappear around the corner. His wolf is roaring now, fully awake, stunned and furious. That girl is starving. That girl just gave him her food. That girl is everything his kingdom should protect and everything it's failing. He pulls himself upright, bread clutched in his fist, and makes a silent vow. Whatever is broken here, I will fix it, no matter what it costs me. Somewhere above, in the throne room he left behind, the anonymous letter sits on cold marble. Its accusations are no longer questions. They are declarations of war. If you're already feeling that knot in your chest, that tightness in your throat, make sure you subscribe to Ariel Romance Library. Because this small act of kindness in a filthy alley is about to shift the fate of an entire kingdom, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Dawn comes pale and cold. Darian moves through the capital district like a ghost, unseen and unmarked. He learns the rhythms of a city he thought he knew. Tax lines forming before sunrise, Omega workers running between shifts with hunched shoulders and lowered eyes, children too thin, too quiet. The market square is his classroom. He positions himself near a fountain, pretending to sleep while vendors open their stalls. Watches the enforcers arrive with ledgers, their authority casual and cruel. An older Omega woman steps forward when her name is called. She carries a small pouch of coins, her hands trembling slightly. "Household tax for the Greaves family," the enforcer says, not looking up. 12 silver. But last month it was 8. Her voice is barely audible. Prices changed. New infrastructure costs. "You got a problem with better roads?" "No, sir. We don't have 12. We have 9. The enforcer finally looks at her. His smile is all teeth. "Then you're 3 short. That's a mark against your family. 3 marks and you default to servitude contract. You already got 1 mark from last spring." The woman's face goes gray. "Please, my grandson, he can work extra. Or you can pay the shortage fee. 15 silver by week's end, interest included." Darian's hands curl into fists. The math is designed to trap. Pay 12 now or 15 later. Either way, the debt grows. Either way, they can't win. The woman pays the 9 she has and stumbles away, shoulders shaking. No one helps her. No one even looks. Because this is normal. Darian spends the entire morning watching variations of the same cruelty. A young mother short on coin, threatened with her child being held as collateral. A male Omega accused of dodging taxes when his paperwork shows clearly he paid. The enforcer just smiles and says the records must be wrong. When the guards finally leave, Darian follows at a distance. They don't go to the treasury. They slip into a warehouse on the eastern edge of the district, laughing as they divide coins between themselves. One of them says, "Cassian's going to be pleased. That Rowan girl is behind again. He said once her debt hits 50 gold, he's moving her to capital contracts. Which means she works for us. Or for whoever pays best." The guard laughs. "Omega with a sick sister and no options? That's profitable." Darian barely keeps his wolf from ripping free. "Capital contracts, that's trafficking with a legal name." He files the information away, rage simmering beneath his skin, and returns to the streets. He needs to see more. Needs to understand the full scope before he acts. And everywhere he looks, Kaya appears. She moves through the city like water finding cracks, always in motion, always working. Darian sees her in the laundry yard, arms deep in soapy water, in the stables, calming a spooked horse with soft words and a gentler touch, running through the market with a crate balanced on her shoulder, face set in determination. She's everywhere, doing the work no one else wants, invisible to everyone except those who need her. One afternoon, Darian watches her pause near a fruit vendor. A small child, maybe 5 years old, stands nearby, staring at the apples with naked hunger. The vendor shouts at the kid to move along. Kaya glances around, then quietly slips an apple from her own meager lunch into the child's hands and nudges her away before anyone notices. The girl runs. Kaya's stomach growls audibly. She ignores it and keeps walking. Darian's chest aches. This girl has nothing and gives everything. That night, he positions himself near the stables where Kaya's second shift ends. He's genuinely exhausted now, the days of cold and hunger catching up even to an alpha. When she emerges, still wiping her hands on her apron, she spots him slumped against the wall and stops. He sees the war on her face. Keep walking or stop. Self-preservation versus compassion. Compassion wins. Kaya kneels beside him, exhaustion clear in every line of her body. She pulls a piece of stale crust from her pocket and holds it out. "You're still here," she says quietly. "Nowhere else to go." His voice is rough, but genuine. She hesitates, then sinks down beside him in the straw, keeping a careful distance but close enough that he can feel her warmth. "How did you end up like this?" Darian tells a half-truth. Lost his family holding in the eastern hills, worked his way toward the capital looking for something better, found only closed doors. Kaya nods slowly. Her eyes are distant. "I understand. Life can disappear fast. What's your story?" She tenses. "Does it matter?" "It might. To someone." She looks at him then, really looks, like she's trying to figure out if he's real or just another cruelty disguised as kindness. Finally, she says, "My parents died 2 years ago. Border attack. After that, everything fell apart. I'm sorry. Everyone's sorry. Sorry doesn't pay debts." Her voice is sharper than she intends. She softens. "I have a sister, Lyra. She's 12. Sick a lot. I have to keep her safe. You're doing everything you can. It's not enough." The words break on the way out. Kaya looks away, blinking hard. It's never enough. They sit in silence. The night is cold, but the space between them feels warmer. Darian's wolf is restless, drawn to her in a way that has nothing to do with strategy and everything to do with the strange, fierce pull in his chest. Kaya's shoulder brushes his. She doesn't pull away. Neither does he. Her scent reaches him fully for the first time. Cool and wild, like pine forests under moonlight, like winter wind across open fields. His wolf surges, wanting closer, wanting to wrap around her and shield her from every sharp edge in this city. Kaya's pulse kicks up. She doesn't know why sitting next to this stranger makes her feel safer than she has in months. Doesn't know why her face feels hot despite the cold. She clears her throat and stands quickly. "I should go. Lyra will worry." Darian nods, watches her walk away, that same exhausted grace, and wishes he could tell her the truth, that he sees her, that he's going to fix this. But timing matters, and he's not done gathering evidence. He returns to the shadows, following leads, watching enforcers, memorizing faces. Each night he learns something new. Each night the anger builds, and each night he finds himself looking for her in the crowds, the girl who shared bread with a beggar and somehow became the center of everything that matters. Kaya's home is a single room in the workers' quarter, tucked behind a tanner's shop where the smell of cured leather seeps through the walls. The door doesn't lock properly. The window is patched with oiled cloth, but it's theirs. Lyra is awake when Kaya stumbles in, sitting cross-legged on the thin mattress they share, wrapped in a blanket that used to be their mother's. Her face lights up when Kaya enters. "You're late. Long shift." Kaya peels off her damp cloak and hangs it on the single nail by the door. "How are you feeling?" "Better." Lyra's smile doesn't quite hide the shadows under her eyes. "Did you eat?" "Of course." The lie comes easily now. Kaya splits the small piece of bread she saved into 2 portions and hands the larger to her sister. "Here, we'll share." Lyra takes it but watches Kaya with 2 knowing eyes. "You keep giving me more. You need your strength. So do you." Kaya sits beside her, pulling the blanket around them both. "I'm stronger than I look. You look exhausted. Then I'm more exhausted than I look." Kaya tries to smile. It almost works. "Eat, Lyra, please." They eat in silence. The bread is gone too fast. Kaya's stomach cramps with hunger, but seeing Lyra's face relax slightly is worth it. "Tell me a story," Lyra says, leaning against Kaya's shoulder. "I'm too tired." "Then tell me about the alley stranger." Kaya goes still. "How do you know about that? You came home smelling like straw and sadness. You always get that look when you help someone you shouldn't." Lyra pokes her ribs gently. "Who is he?" "No one. Just a beggar. You gave him food." "I had extra." "Kaya, we never have extra." "There's no good answer to that." Kaya sighs. "He looked like he needed it more than me." "Or you have a soft heart." "That's not a compliment in this city." Lyra's quiet for a moment, then softer. "Mama had a soft heart too. She'd be proud of you." The words hit deeper than Kaya expects. Her throat tightens. She pulls Lyra closer, hiding her face in her sister's hair. "I miss her." "Me too." They sit like that until Lyra's breathing evens out and sleep claims her. Kaya stays awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about tomorrow's shifts, about the debt that never shrinks, about gray eyes watching her from the shadows. She doesn't know why that beggar feels important. Doesn't know why the memory of his voice, rough but warm, keeps circling in her head. She only knows that when he said thank you, it sounded like a promise. The next morning, everything breaks. Kaya is halfway through her kitchen shift, scrubbing pots in the scullery, when the head cook starts shouting. 2 full loaves of bread are missing from the morning count. Fresh bread, expensive bread, meant for the Alpha's table. Panic ripples through the kitchen staff. Theft from royal stores is a serious charge. Everyone denies it. The cook threatens to search their bunks. That's when Cassian Rook arrives. He moves through the kitchen like smoke, his presence making everyone go silent. His gaze sweeps the room and lands on Kaya with surgical precision. "You." His voice is silk. "Kaya Rowan." Kaya's heart drops. "Yes, sir? I've received reports that you've been feeding vagrants. using kitchen scraps without permission. I used my own food, sir. Is that so? Cassian smiles. It doesn't reach his eyes. Then you won't mind if we check your living quarters. Dread opens like a pit in Kaya's stomach. Sir, I don't. Guards. 2 enforcers step forward. They escort Kaya through the streets, her coworkers watching with pity and fear. The walk to her room takes forever. When they arrive, Cassian personally searches the space, while Lyra cowers on the mattress, eyes wide with terror. He finds crumbs, just crumbs, scattered near their food storage, suspiciously fresh. Cassian holds them up to the light. Kitchen bread, distinct grain blend. Those aren't from someone must have. Kaya's voice shakes. She knows how this sounds. Knows no one will believe her. Cassian produces a ledger, opens it to a marked page. The Rowan family debt currently stands at 32 gold. Theft from royal stores adds a penalty of 15 gold and immediate mark of dishonor. Your new total, 47 gold. Kaya can't breathe. 47 gold might as well be 47,000. You have 3 days to pay in full, Cassian continues, his tone pleasant, almost bored. Fail to do so, and you and your sister will be exiled beyond the borders. We don't harbor thieves in Varen. Sir, please, I didn't. 3 days, Miss Rowan. He closes the ledger with a soft snap. I suggest you use them wisely. He leaves. The guards follow. The door closes. Kaya stands frozen in the center of the room, the world tilting around her. 3 days. 47 gold. Exile. Exile means death. The border territories are rogue lands. No pack, no protection. Lyra wouldn't survive a week. Lyra grabs her hand. Kaya, it's okay. The lie tastes like poison. I'll figure something out. But there's nothing to figure out. No way to earn that much. No one who will lend it. They're trapped, and Cassian knows it. This was always the plan. Push until she breaks. Then offer her the only way out. Servitude that's slavery with a contract. Kaya sinks to the floor, pulling Lyra into her arms, and for the first time in 2 years, she lets herself cry. Darian watches from across the street, hidden in a doorway, fury vibrating through every muscle. He saw the guards escort Kaya from the kitchens, followed to her home, listened to Cassian's cold recitation of manufactured debt. The crumbs were planted. He knows it. The entire pack knows it. But fear keeps them silent. His wolf is screaming to intervene, to shift and tear Cassian apart. But Arathorn catches his eye from the shadowed alley across the way. The old healer shakes her head once, a clear warning. Not yet. You'll spook him into covering his tracks. Darian forces himself still. Forces himself to watch Kaya crumble and do nothing. It's the hardest thing he's ever done. That night, he waits near the stables. Knows she'll come. Knows she won't be able to stop herself from checking on him one last time. Even though she should be saving every scrap for herself. She appears just after midnight, moving like someone walking through a nightmare. Her face is swollen from crying. Her hands shake. She sees him and stops. For a moment, she just stares, and he wonders if she'll turn away. Instead, she sinks down beside him, closer than before, like she needs the warmth. 3 days, she whispers. I have 3 days to pay a debt I can't pay. Then they'll exile me and my sister. We'll die out there. Darian's hand moves before he can stop it, covering hers where it rests on her knee. Her skin is cold. His touch is warm. She startles but doesn't pull away. You're not alone, Kaya. Everyone's alone in the end. Not you. His voice drops, rough and intense. I promise you're not alone. She looks at him then, gray eyes searching his face like she's trying to find the lie. She doesn't find one. Instead, something shifts in her expression. Confusion, hope, fear. Why do you care? Her voice breaks. You don't even know me. Because you gave me bread when you were starving. Because you're everything good in this broken kingdom. Because my wolf recognized you before I did. He can't say any of that, so he says, because someone should. Kaya's breath hitches. For 1 heartbeat, 2. They sit there, hands touching, the space between them charged with something neither understands. Then she pulls away, stands, wraps her arms around herself. I should go. Kaya, don't. She shakes her head. Don't make promises you can't keep. Nobody can fix this. She walks away. Darian watches her disappear into the darkness, his hand still warm where hers was, and makes a decision. 3 days. He has 3 days to tear this kingdom apart and rebuild it, and he'll burn down anyone who tries to stop him. If you want to see hunger, danger, and an undercover king collide in the most explosive way possible? Hit that subscribe button for Ariel Romance Library, because the next 3 days are about to change everything, and you don't want to miss a single second. Darian spends the night gathering proof. He breaks into the administrative offices using passages only the royal family knows, finds Cassian's personal ledgers hidden behind a false panel. The real books are damning. Double entries, skimmed taxes, invented fees, names of Omegas marked for contracts, with prices listed beside them like livestock. Kaya's name is there. 47 gold. With a note. Priority acquisition. Useful leverage. His wolf snarls. He photographs everything with his memory, then slips back into the streets before dawn. Era finds him near the healer's quarter as the sun rises. She's old, bent with years, but her eyes are sharp as broken glass. "You're out of time," she says without preamble. "I know. That girl will be exiled in 2 days if you don't act." I said I know. Darian's voice is rough with exhaustion. "I need 1 more day to—" "You don't have 1 more day." Cassian moved up the timeline. "He's declaring her exile tonight. Public ceremony in the square at dusk. The world tilts. Tonight? He wants her desperate, wants her to beg, wants everyone to see what happens when you defy the system." Era steps closer. "You're the Alpha King. Stop hiding and do your job." Darian meets her eyes, sees no judgment there, only urgency. "If I reveal myself now, half his network will scatter. And if you don't, an innocent girl dies. Choose, Darian. Crown or conscience?" The answer is immediate. Both. By midday, every ranking wolf in Varen receives a summons. Emergency assembly in the throne room. Mandatory attendance. No exceptions. Confusion ripples through the capital. Assemblies like this only happen for declarations of war or royal death. Speculation runs wild. Kaya doesn't receive a summons. She's dragged from her room by guards, Lyra screaming behind her, and hauled toward the castle. She's terrified, confused, certain this is the end. The throne room is packed when they arrive. Nobles, merchants, enforcers, workers, everyone crowded into the vast space, murmuring, anxious. Cassian stands near the throne, smiling that silk-sharp smile. Then the side door opens. Darian walks in wearing the same filthy rags he wore as a beggar. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Confusion, shock. No one understands why a vagrant is in the throne room. Kaya's heart stops. She recognizes him. The stranger from the alley, the one she fed. What is he doing here? Darian moves down the center aisle, slow and deliberate, reaches the dais, turns to face the crowd. Then, with careful precision, he strips off the rags. Underneath, royal leathers. The crest of House Thorn blazing across his chest. The room explodes. Shouts, denials, wolves dropping to their knees. Kaya feels her legs buckle, but the guards hold her upright. She stares, mind fracturing. The beggar. The man she gave bread. The man who promised she wasn't alone. He's the Alpha King. Darian lets his aura unfurl, the full weight of his power slamming into the room like a physical force. Silence falls instantly. "I have spent the last week walking among you," he says, his voice carrying to every corner. "Not as your king, as no one. And I saw the truth you tried to hide." He produces the ledgers, lays them bare, reads aloud the falsified debts, the skimmed taxes, the names marked for trafficking. Every crime, every cruelty. The crowd turns toward Cassian, whose face has gone pale. "These crimes were carried out by my beta," Darian continues, "with the complicity of guards, merchants, and nobles who profited from Omega suffering. You all knew. You all allowed it." Someone tries to protest. Darian's growl silences them. "But there was one wolf in this entire city who showed me kindness." His gaze finds Kaya, an Omega with nothing, starving, working herself to death to keep her sister alive. She saw a beggar in an alley and gave him half her only bread. Kaya can't breathe, can't think. Everyone is staring at her. "That kindness is the measure of this kingdom," Darian says quietly, "and you all failed it." Cassian moves fast, too fast. He grabs Kaya, yanking her against him, a blade appearing at her throat before anyone can react. "Stay back," Cassian snarls, eyes wild. "All of you. I'll kill her." Darian goes absolutely still. The bond, unformed but present, ignites. He feels her terror as his own, sharp and choking. His wolf roars, "Let her go." "Cassian, so you can throw me in a cell?" "I don't think so." Cassian backs toward the door, dragging Kaya with him. The blade presses hard enough to draw blood. I walk out of here, or she dies. You won't make it past the gates. Then she dies anyway. Your choice, my king. The crowd is frozen. Kaya feels the blade bite deeper, warm blood sliding down her neck. Her vision blurs. This is it. This is how she dies. Then Darian's eyes meet hers, and she feels something impossible. A thread between them, humming and alive, pulling tight. His voice drops, becomes something ancient and absolute. Release her, now. Power detonates. Every wolf in the room except Cassian drops to their knees, crushed by the weight of pure alpha command. The walls shake. Dust falls from the rafters. Cassian staggers but holds on. I said. Kaya's wolf explodes. She doesn't know how, doesn't know why, but pain rips through her body, bones shifting, teeth sharpening. She twists in Cassian's grip, feels his surprise, and bites down hard on his arm. He screams, drops the knife. She tears free. Darian shifts. Mid-leap. Massive black wolf tackling Cassian to the marble floor. The fight is brutal, fast, one-sided. Cassian's wolf is strong, but he's a beta facing an enraged alpha who just watched someone threaten his mate. It ends with Cassian pinned, throat exposed. Darian's jaws locked around his neck in a hold that means surrender or death. Cassian submits. Darian shifts back, breathing hard, and signals the guards. Dungeons. Now. They drag Cassian away. The throne room is chaos. Wolves crying, shouting, trying to process what just happened. Darian turns to Kaya. She's collapsed against a pillar, half-shifted, shaking violently. Blood streaks her neck. Her eyes are wide, shocked, terrified. He crosses to her in 3 strides, drops to his knees, gathers her into his arms. Kaya, look at me. Her gaze finds his, gray eyes swimming with tears and fury. You lied to me, she whispers. I know. You're the king. I am. You let me, I gave you. Her voice breaks. She shoves at his chest, weak but furious. You lied. I'm sorry. He cups her face, thumbs brushing away tears. I'm so sorry, but I needed to see the truth. And you showed it to me. I hate you. I know. I hate you. But she's not pulling away. She's shaking in his arms, blood drying on her skin, half-shifted and terrified, and she's clinging to him like he's the only solid thing in the world. Darian holds her tighter, buries his face in her hair, and whispers promises she can't hear yet, that he'll fix this, that she's safe, that he will never let anyone hurt her again. Around them, the kingdom begins to fracture and remake itself, and in the space between heartbeats, something ancient and inevitable clicks into place, the beginning of a bond that will either save them or destroy everything. Kaya wakes in a bed too soft to be real. For a moment, she thinks she's dreaming. Then memory crashes back. The throne room, the blade, the shift, the king's arms around her. She sits up too fast, head spinning, and takes in her surroundings. A guest chamber. Royal quarter, she realizes, from the quality of the stone, the thickness of the rugs. Sunlight pours through tall windows. Someone changed her clothes, cleaned the blood from her neck. Panic flares. Lyra, your sister is safe. Arathorn sits in a chair by the window, ancient and calm as stone. She's being cared for in the healer's wing. Fed, warm, watched over. You can see her soon. Kaya's breath shudders out. What happened? You shifted for the first time. Partially. It's painful when you're not trained. Ira stands, crosses to the bed. How do you feel? Like I was torn apart and put back wrong. That's normal. Your wolf is strong, Kaya. She's been caged too long. Kaya looks down at her hands. They're steady now, but she remembers the feeling of claws, the taste of blood. I don't understand. I'm Omega. We don't shift like that. Most don't. Ira's eyes are knowing. But you're not like most Omegas. What does that mean? It means the bloodline we thought extinct is alive in you. Nightbloom, Kaya. You're Nightbloom. The word means nothing. Kaya stares blankly. Ira sits on the edge of the bed, patient. Centuries ago, there was a line of Omegas unlike any other. They could calm raging wolves with a touch, sense lies like poison in the air, share strength through bonds with their mates. They were treasured by royalty, trusted to temper alpha power. What happened to them? They were hunted, feared. Kings worried they were too powerful. The line was supposedly wiped out 200 years ago. Ira smiles faintly. Apparently not. Kaya's mind spins. You think I'm one of them? I know you are. You're sent, your late shift. The way you calm wolves without trying. I should have recognized it sooner. Era's expression softens. You were never weak, Kaya. You were starved and untrained. There's a difference. The words settle like stones in water. Kaya feels something crack open in her chest. Something that might be hope, or might be terror. The king, she says quietly. Does he know? He knows. He also wants to speak with you. When you're ready. I'm not ready. He'll wait. Era leaves her with that promise. Kaya sits alone, staring at her hands, trying to understand who she is now. Darian doesn't make her wait long. He appears at her door that evening, knocking softly, entering only when she says yes. He's cleaned up, royal leathers replaced with simpler clothes. But his eyes are the same, gray and storm-dark and seeing too much. Kaya stands by the window, arms crossed, defensive. You don't have to pretend anymore. I'm not pretending. You lied to me. I did. He doesn't make excuses. I needed to see the truth. The only way to do that was to disappear, and I was convenient. You were everything. His voice is quiet, fierce. You showed me what this kingdom should be, Kaya. You gave me bread when you were starving. You didn't ask my name or my worth. You just saw someone suffering and helped. That doesn't change the fact that you used me. No, it doesn't. Darian steps closer, stops when she tenses. I'm sorry, truly. I don't expect you to forgive me. But I need you to know, what I saw in you wasn't an act. The beggar in that alley was the realest version of me anyone's seen in years, and you treated him with more dignity than most of this court has ever shown me. Kaya's throat tightens. She wants to stay angry, wants to hold on to the hurt, but his honesty is disarming, and the pull between them hasn't faded. If anything, it's stronger. What happens now? She asks finally. That's your choice. I've erased your debt, all of it. You and Lyra are free. I'll give you coin, transport, protection. You can go anywhere, start over, or you stay. His gaze holds hers. Learn to shift, understand your bloodline. Be part of rebuilding this kingdom. With you, if you'll have me. The vulnerability in those words is staggering. This is the Alpha King offering her real choice. No obligations, no demands. Kaya turns back to the window, watches the city lights flicker below. Thinks about Lyra, safe and fed for the first time in years. Thinks about the beggar who promised she wasn't alone. I'll stay, she says quietly. For now. But I don't trust you yet. I'll earn it. You'll try. He smiles, small and genuine. I'll try. The days that follow are strange and cautious. Kaya moves through the castle like a ghost, still half expecting someone to drag her back to the laundry yards. Instead, she's given freedom, respect, space. Darian keeps his distance, doesn't push, but he's always nearby when she needs him. When Lyra's fever spikes, he personally carries her to Era's chambers and stays through the night, keeping watch while Kaya dozes in a chair. When Kaya struggles through shift training, bones cracking wrong, he talks her through it with a voice so steady and calm that her wolf finally listens. Small moments, quiet kindness, the slow erosion of her walls. One evening, they share a meal in his private study. Simple food, nothing fancy. She asks about his childhood. He tells her about a father who ruled through fear and a mother who taught him mercy before she died. I spent 8 years trying to undo his damage, Darian says, staring into his cup. And I missed the rot growing underneath. You fixed it. I should have seen it sooner. You're not a god. You're just a wolf. Kaya's voice is soft. A wolf who cared enough to walk through his own city as no one. That takes courage. He looks at her then, something vulnerable flickering across his face. You gave me bread. You remember that? Every detail. How your hands shook. How you lied about already eating. How you looked at me like I mattered even though I was nothing. His voice drops. I'll remember that until the day I die, Kaya. The air between them shifts. Warm, charged. Kaya's heart kicks against her ribs. His hand is on the table, close to hers. She could reach out, bridge the gap. Instead, she pulls back. Not ready. Not yet. But the thread between them hums, patient and inevitable. 2 weeks pass. Then the assassins come. Kaya wakes to the sound of breaking glass. Instinct screams. She rolls off the bed as a blade thunks into the pillow where her head was. 3 wolves, masks on, snarling. Finish Cassian's work, one growls. Kaya shifts without thinking. Fur erupts, bones snap into new shapes. Her wolf is clumsy, untrained, but desperate. She lunges, knocks one attacker into the wall, slashes another across the face. The third catches her by the scruff, slams her down. She yelps, pain bright and sharp. Then terror spikes through the bond like a flare. Darian is in his own chambers, reviewing laws, when her fear hits him like a physical blow. He doesn't think, just shifts and runs, crashes through her door in wolf form, massive and black and furious. The fight is over in seconds. Claws, teeth, blood. When the attackers are subdued, Darian shifts back, chest heaving, and drops to his knees beside Kaya. She's shifted back too, bleeding from a shallow cut on her shoulder, shaking violently. Kaya. His hands cup her face, frantic. Are you hurt? I'm okay. Her voice is thin. They came for me. I know. You're safe. I've got you. She stares at him, sees the terror in his eyes, the way his hands are shaking. He's always so controlled, so steady. But right now, he's rattled. For her, Darian, if something happened to you, his voice cracks. If they'd hurt you, I would have burned this city down. The confession hangs between them, raw, unguarded. Kaya reaches up, touches his jaw. His skin is warm. His gaze locks on hers, storm gray and desperate. She leans in, kisses him. It starts soft, tentative, a question more than a statement. His hands slide into her hair, gentle and reverent. She presses closer, deepening the kiss, letting herself fall into the heat and safety of him. When they finally pull apart, both breathless, his forehead rests against hers. I'll protect you, he whispers. Always. I swear it. I know. And she does. Finally, she knows. The bond between them glows, no longer fragile but solid and sure, not complete yet, but building. And somewhere deep in her chest, beneath fear and healing and newfound strength, Kaya realizes something she's been denying for weeks. She's falling for the king who once knelt in the dirt and thanked her for bread. Right there, in the quiet after chaos, everything shifts. If your heart is pounding and you need to see what happens when a broken Omega and an undercover king finally stop fighting their bond, make sure you're subscribed to Ariel Romance Library, because we're about to hit the moment that changes everything. The kingdom begins to change. Cassian is tried publicly, his crimes laid bare before assembled packs. He's sentenced to life imprisonment. His network is dismantled piece by piece. Falsified debts are erased. Omegas are released from servitude contracts. Kaya sits in on the council meetings now. At first, she just listens. Then, quietly, she starts to speak. When a noble proposes new taxes that would disproportionately affect workers, Kaya points out the flaw in the logic. Darian listens, revises the law. When an alpha from a neighboring pack suggests incentivizing Omega labor, Kaya's voice goes cold as winter. You mean exploitation? Say what you mean. The room goes silent. The alpha backs down. Darian watches her with something close to awe. This girl who once scrubbed floors is rewriting the laws that govern them. One evening, they stand together on a high balcony, overlooking the capital. The city glows in the twilight, peaceful for the first time in years. I have something to ask you, Darian says quietly. Kaya glances at him. That sounds ominous. It's a proposal. A real one. He turns to face her fully. I want you as my Luna. Not as decoration. Not as obligation. As my equal. Her breath catches. Darian, I mean it. On all matters involving Omegas, the vulnerable. The forgotten your word outweighs mine. If you say no to a law, it doesn't pass. I'm rewriting the power structure to ensure you have real authority. Kaya stares at him, stunned. You'd give me that much power? It's not about giving. You've earned it. You understand this kingdom's suffering better than I ever could. I need you, Kaya. Not because of the bond, because you're the only person who will challenge me when I'm wrong. She's quiet for a long moment. Then, slowly, she smiles. You're asking me to be your conscience? I'm asking you to be my partner. And if I say yes, then we complete the bond, properly, under the full moon, and we rebuild this kingdom together. Kaya looks out over the city, thinks about the girl she was 2 months ago, starving, desperate, hopeless. Thinks about the girl she's becoming, strong, trained, unafraid. She thinks about a beggar in an alley who turned out to be a king, who saw her when she was invisible, who is offering her not just love, but power to change the world. Yes, she says simply. Darian's eyes widen. Yes? Yes. I'll be your Luna. Yes. I'll challenge you when you're an idiot. Yes. I'll stand beside you and make sure this kingdom never forgets where it came from. She steps closer, voice dropping. And yes, I choose you. Not because of fate, or bonds, or duty. Because you knelt in the dirt and thanked me for bread. Because you cared enough to disappear. Because you're trying to be better. He kisses her then, deep and slow and full of promise. When they part, both are smiling. The full moon is in 3 days, he murmurs. I'll be ready. The ritual site is ancient, a stone circle on the highest tower, open to the sky, runes carved into the floor that predate the kingdom itself. The moon rises huge and silver, washing everything in cold light. Darian and Kaya stand facing each other, alone. The pack waits below, but this moment belongs only to them. Are you sure? Darian asks one last time. I've never been more sure of anything. He takes her hands. The bond hums between them, alive and waiting. I, Darian Thorne, Alpha King of Varen, choose you, Kaya Rowan, as my Luna. I vow to protect you, honor you, and stand beside you as an equal. I give you my strength, my loyalty, and my heart. Kaya's voice is steady. I, Kaya Rowan, Omega of Nightbloom blood, choose you, Darian Thorne, as my mate. I vow to challenge you, support you, and build something better with you. I give you my trust, my courage, and my heart. The moon flares brighter. Magic, old and wild, rises from the stones. Darian leans in, presses his teeth gently to the curve of her neck, and marks her. The bond ignites, a rush of warmth and belonging that steals both their breaths. Kaya's hands shake as she reaches up, pulls him down, and marks his shoulder in return. The bond completes, snapping into place like the final piece of a puzzle that always existed. They shift together, wolves circling each other in the moonlight. His black fur brushes her silver gray. They press close, noses touching, tails entwined, a moment of perfect stillness. Then they shift back, laughing breathlessly, holding each other as the magic settles. Darian cups her face, thumbs brushing her cheeks. You're mine, and you're mine. They kiss again, deeper this time, the bond singing between them. His hands slide to her waist, pulling her flush against him. Her fingers tangle in his hair. The kiss turns hungry, breathless, full of heat that they both feel, but don't push beyond safe boundaries. When they finally break apart, foreheads pressed together, the moon witnesses their promises. To rule together, to protect the vulnerable, to never forget the alley where a king disguised as a beggar received bread from the girl who would become his queen. Below, the pack howls in celebration. Above, the bond glows eternal. 6 months later, spring comes to Varen like a long-held breath released. The capital is different, brighter. Children play in squares where once only enforcers stood. Omegas train openly in combat and scholarship. The old cruelties are being systematically erased, replaced by laws Kaya helped write. She stands at a window in the royal chambers, watching the city wake, one hand resting absently on her stomach. Darian enters behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist, chin settling on her shoulder. You're up early. Couldn't sleep. Nightmares? No, just thinking. She leans back into him, feeling his warmth, about how different everything is. Because of you, because of us. He kisses her temple. The bond hums contentedly between them. 6 months mated, and it still feels new, still makes her heart stutter when he looks at her like she's the center of his world. I have news, Kaya says quietly. Good news? Depends on how you feel about lack of sleep and dirty diapers. Darian goes very still. His hands tighten on her waist. Kaya, she guides his hand lower, to where the curve is barely visible yet. Era confirmed it yesterday. She says there are 2 heartbeats, twins. For a moment, he doesn't move, doesn't speak. Then he spins her around, eyes wide and shining, and drops to his knees. His hands frame her stomach, reverent and gentle. You're carrying our children. Apparently Nightbloom bloodlines run to multiples. She laughs, slightly nervous. Are you okay? He looks up at her, and she sees tears tracking down his face. I'm more than okay. His voice breaks. You're giving me a family, Kaya. A real one, built on choice and love, not duty or tradition. We're giving each other a family. He kisses her stomach, then her hands, then her mouth. The kiss is soft, full of wonder and promises yet unspoken. When they pull apart, he holds her close, and she feels safe in a way she never thought possible. That afternoon, they stand before the assembled packs in the main courtyard. Delegates from across the kingdom and neighboring territories have gathered for what Darian called a historic announcement. Kaya wears Luna regalia now, but she chose the design herself. Practical, beautiful, nothing like the restrictive gowns past Queen's wore. Beside her, Darian stands in formal leathers, but his hand never leaves hers. The crowd quiets. Darian speaks first. 6 months ago, I walked through this city disguised as a beggar. I did it to see the truth hidden from kings. What I found was a kingdom built on cruelty, disguised as order. A system that crushed its most vulnerable while the powerful profited. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Some uneasy, some ashamed. But I also found kindness. Darian continues, his voice warming. I found a girl with nothing, who gave me half her only bread, who treated a stranger with more dignity than this court had shown in generations. He turns to Kaya. She steps forward, heart pounding, and addresses the crowd. I was that girl. I scrubbed your floors and laundered your clothes and starved so my sister could eat. I know what it feels like to be invisible, to be told you don't matter. Her voice strengthens. This kingdom taught me I was worthless, and it was wrong. Silence. Absolute and ringing. Every law we've rewritten, every reform we've made, it's because I remember. I remember what it's like to count crumbs, to fear exile, to have no voice. Kaya's gaze sweeps the crowd. I'm your Luna now, not because I was born to privilege, because I earned my way here through survival and kindness and refusing to let this kingdom crush me. She pauses. Then quietly, and I will make sure it never crushes anyone else again. The courtyard erupts, some in applause, some in tears, some just standing, stunned, processing the truth of a Luna who speaks from scars, not theory. Darian steps forward again. We're not done rebuilding, but today we make another promise. He looks at Kaya, love clear on his face. Luna, Kaya and I are expecting twins. Night Bloom blood will live again in the royal line, and our children will grow up in a kingdom that values kindness over cruelty, strength over oppression. Joy ripples through the crowd. Wolves howl. Children cheer. Kaya looks out over them all and feels something she never expected. Hope. Real, solid hope that the world can change. That night, after the ceremonies and feasts and endless congratulations, Darian and Kaya escape to the ramparts. Their place. Where they go when the world gets too loud. The moon is rising, full and bright. Kaya leans against the stone wall, Darian's arms wrapped around her from behind, both hands resting over the small swell of her stomach. Do you ever think about that night? She asks quietly. In the alley? Every day. I was so angry when I found out who you were. You had every right to be. But if you'd told me the truth from the beginning, I wouldn't have trusted you. I would have thought it was pity or politics. She turns in his arms, looks up at him. You had to be the beggar for me to see the real you. And you had to be exactly who you are for me to see what this kingdom needed. He brushes a strand of hair from her face. You saved me, Kaya. Long before I saved you. We saved each other. We did. They kiss, slow and sweet, the bond warm and steady between them. When they part, Kaya rests her head against his chest, listening to his heartbeat, feeling the lives growing inside her. Below, the city of Varen glows. Not perfect, not healed completely, but better, changing, learning to value the omegas it once threw away, learning to see strength in gentleness and power in compassion. All because a king chose to disappear and an omega chose to share her bread. What are you thinking? Darian murmurs. That home isn't the castle or the crown, Kaya says softly. It's this. You. The choice we made to trust each other even when it was terrifying. Best choice I ever made. Mine too. They stand together as the moon climbs higher. Two wolves who found each other in an alley and built a kingdom on the kindness that started there. And somewhere in the city below, another omega looks up at the castle lights and allows herself to hope. Because if Kaya Rowan can go from scrubbing floors to wearing a crown, if an alpha king can kneel in the dirt and learn to see, then maybe, just maybe, anything is possible. The future is coming. 2 heartbeats beneath Kaya's ribs. A generation that will never know the hunger she knew. A kingdom learning to be better. Darian kisses her temple. I love you. I love you too. And that, really, is where the story began. With love disguised as bread. With power disguised as weakness. With a test that revealed not who they pretended to be, but who they truly were. A king who cared enough to disappear, and an Omega who had the courage to share her only bread with a stranger. Everything else was just the inevitable result of those two choices colliding. The moon watches, the bond glows, the kingdom breathes, and home, finally, is found. If this story grabbed you by the heart and didn't let go, if you're sitting here feeling that beautiful ache of a perfectly told love story, then you need to subscribe to Ariel Romance Library right now, because we're just getting started. There are more kingdoms to explore, more alphas who will fall to their knees for the right Omega, and more stories about power, survival, and the kind of love that changes everything. Hit that subscribe button. This is exactly where you belong.